Right now on Fox Champaign News at 9, a shooting investigation. What we now know about a shooting that happened at an apartment complex in Champaign today. Plus,
So a resident was home at the house and her pet, and she witnessed the lightning going through the house.
A house is struck by lightning and catches fire. We'll show you the damage it caused to this house.
And the U of I softball player charged for vandalizing a menorah on campus is in the county's Second Chance program. What this means for her record. Fox Champaign News at 9 starts now. Heavy rain, lightning, and strong winds hit east central Illinois today.
Yeah, and it's not over yet. It looks like we're going to see at least another day. In fact, it may even be more intense as we get into the day tomorrow, and I'll show you why coming up. But here's the headlines. We're looking at more rain, more storms, perhaps during the overnight and throughout at least the earlier part of the day tomorrow, and then again later in the afternoon, and that will be the opportunity for seeing strong to severe storms. Look down to the south. Tornado watches, severe thunderstorm watches in effect, primarily south of the state of Illinois, but for our area, we've seen reports of small hail. Also, a lot of heavy rain, not so much as far as wind, but certainly frequent lightning was one of the issues. Now, as we get into the day tomorrow, we're going to be in this area here, which is calling for an enhanced risk of severe weather. And with that, we could be looking at some hail, strong damaging winds, locally heavy rain, and possibly the development of tornadoes. Here's the way it's looking currently on live Doppler. Not much as far as lightning showing up at the present time, but still people out there picking up some locally heavy rain, depending on your location. 57 degrees right now in Champaign. Meanwhile, in Danville, 55 degrees. Tomorrow, more showers and thunderstorms. We'll have all the details for you with the Storm Team forecast coming up. Janice, back to you.
Thank you, Doug. Now, Doug just talked about the storms that swept through central Illinois. Take a look at this home struck by lightning this afternoon. Urbana fire officials say a woman and her dog were inside the home when lightning struck. She told fire officials that she saw the lightning as it entered her home. Then she jumped up and ran for safety. The entire hallway and a room on the east side of the house caught fire. Fire crews put the flames out quickly. Urbana Fire Chief Brian Neitlinger says for now, no one can live in the home.
The house will not be occupiable. We've got the utilities shut off because we don't know the extent of the damage to the electrical system in the house.
There was no damage to the roof. That's the odd part. Investigators are trying to figure out where the lightning entered the home. Lightning struck at least 3 buildings total today while storms cut through east central Illinois.
And happening now, Champaign police are investigating a shooting that happened around 5 o'clock this evening.
Yes, this is the second shooting at Mattis North Apartments in just 5 days.
Now, this was the scene after that shooting. Shell casings were scattered in the apartment parking lot. At least one vehicle had a shell casing on it. Police were walking the perimeter of the scene, searching for evidence. Detectives went to at least one apartment while at the scene. Officials would not comment on the shooting. Meanwhile, police are still investigating a separate shooting that happened March 26th at the same apartment complex. In that shooting, a 24-year-old man was shot. His injuries were not life-threatening. If you know anything about these shootings, contact Crime Stoppers at 217-373-TIPS.
University of Illinois softball player that was charged for vandalizing a menorah on campus has now entered a new revitalization program.
The player was recently accepted to the Second Chance program here in Champaign County.
Fox Champaign's M. Nguyen joins us in the studio with more on what's new about this story tonight. M.
Doug and Janice, through the program, the softball player is given the opportunity to keep her charges from last month off of her records. The program is indeed a second chance for her to wipe her felony record clear. Number 42, U of I softball player Ruby Fernandez Rivera is stepping up to the plate to bat away her felony record. Rivera was recently accepted to the county's Second Chance felony diversion program. State's Attorney Julia Reed says this will give her an opportunity to reflect.
We have a first offender who made a very bad decision that has very serious consequences if it were to go through to the felony. And so we're giving her the opportunity to do public service work, pay restitution, and then hopefully move forward after she completes those terms.
The program will allow one-time offenders a chance to turn their felony charge into a misdemeanor. The athletic department allowed Rivera back onto the softball team March 4th after her suspension in February. They say with Rivera's addition, they are winning games and receiving accolades for the team from the public. They say, quote, the softball season is going well. Illinois is getting contributions from every player on the team. In February, Rivera was charged with a single count of criminal damage to property after she was allegedly caught on camera vandalizing a sacred structure on campus. Some students say she is receiving a golden opportunity.
She should definitely get a second chance because people make mistakes. She's a college student, so she knows it was a mistake. She's trying to get the second chance to do what she loves to do, and I think it's fair that she gets that chance.
Reed says Rivera's program also includes 25 hours of public service, no drugs or alcohol use, and a written apology to the Chabad. The program is 6 months long. Rivera will be assigned a coordinator that will track and monitor her progress. Reed says the community will gain a productive citizen rather than a felon. In the studio, I'm Emwin. Back to you.
Thank you, Em. Champaign Fire, community organizations, and the Red Cross are going door to door to save lives by installing new smoke detectors. This campaign is focused on reaching high-risk areas for fires in their neighborhoods. The area is from Mattis Avenue to McKinley Avenue and Paula Drive to Maple Street. Fire occurrences have dropped throughout the country for the last 10 years, but locally, fire incidents have increased by 12% in the past 5 years. Officials say having a working fire alarm in your apartment cuts your chance of dying during a fire in half.
So now the recommendations are that there be a smoke detector inside the bedrooms. The age of the houses in that neighborhood predate that requirement. So we know for most of the homes there won't already have detectors in every bedroom.
About 800 smoke alarms or carbon monoxide detectors are scheduled to be installed. Teams will go to these neighborhoods April 2nd to let people know about the smoke alarm installation and then return April 16th to complete the project. The funding is provided by the FEMA Fire Prevention Grant. Tonight, the Danville District 118 School Board is making a crucial decision on whether or not Cannon Elementary will reopen next fall.
Fox Champaign's Angelica Sanchez was at that meeting. She joins us live with the latest on this decision. Angelica.
Doug and Janice, tonight the board has voted to close down Cannon Elementary. The future of that facility right now remains unclear, but we do know that Cannon will not be reopening anytime soon. Now, it was a heavy flood that actually damaged the facility back during the school's winter break. Cannon is the oldest school in the district. Repairing the flood damaged Cannon for Cannon Elementary School would cost more than $8 million, and that's just money that the district says is not worth investing at this time. Now, of course, this was an emotional decision for many. Faculty and staff came out tonight to show their support for Cannon, many expressing their concerns that they won't be working with their colleagues in the next school year.
And it's home, and this is my family, and I'm retiring in 2 years, and it makes me very sad that they're not going to be with me for the last 2 years as I go out. But we kind of knew it was coming. Just hearing it tonight was kind of really hard.
Now, in January, Cannon faculty and students were moved to Mark Denman Elementary to accommodate their learning needs. Now, coming up in about 20 minutes, we will have a full breakdown of this reorganizational plan that the district has for their students, as well as what some parents have to say on this decision. For now, reporting live in Danville, I'm Angelica Sanchez. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Angelica. Monticello school officials are back at the drawing board after their referendum was voted down. Tonight, the school board is talking about what their next step is going to be. Earlier this month, they asked voters to pass a $40.9 million referendum to build a new school facility. It's now being voted down twice. The Monticello superintendent says tonight at the school board meeting, they will recap the outcome of the primary election, but he adds that just because the referendum didn't pass doesn't mean the need for repairs isn't there.
We'll pull those plans back out and try to come up with another idea that we think that would be appropriate for the district. I think the biggest challenge, of course, will be comparing any plan we come up with against the plan we did have on the ballot 2 times.
He says they will continue to work on a long-term facility plan.
Coming up, the state budget impasse is forcing another facility to close its doors. due to a lack of funding. Who's now being impacted?
Plus, the back pay battle continues for some union members, but time is limited. What AFSCME is now asking for and how that affects its members. Maggie Patil will have a look at that and other headlines from across Illinois.
And global security, the concerns some have after the terrorist attacks in Brussels. You're watching Fox Champaign News at 9.